Hello, everyone. This is Howard Fox, and welcome back for another episode of the Outdoor Adventure Series, the podcast that celebrates the individuals, families, businesses, and organizations that seek out and promote the exploration, stewardship, conservation, access, and enjoyment of the outdoors. Jill Lagan is our guest today. Jill is the CEO of the Boulder City Chamber of Commerce and the host of the Best Damn podcast, which is now in its 5th year of production. Jill, it's good to see you again. And how are you doing? Welcome to the podcast.
Thank you. I'm happy to be here, quite honored, and things are going great. We're very happy to be out here in Boulder City.
I think you already know this, and for our listeners, Jill and I know each other fairly well, and she knows how much I love Boulder City. And as you will see on the video, if you look at this podcast on the YouTube channel, she has one of the best views from an office I've ever seen, and I will always remember that. And so, Jill, a lot has gone on since we last had an episode together. I think it was back in 2024 when we launched the Best Damn podcast, and a lot has gone on since then. Some really cool things are happening for Boulder City, the Chamber, and just getting the word out there of why people need to come to Boulder City.
We are working hard on that, but we want to make sure that once they get here, they completely enjoy their experience. So I would absolutely want to spotlight that we have a great partnership with the state of Nevada, Travel Nevada, and Department of Museums. And so right now they are in the middle of about a $35 million build out for building a new indoor a museum for the railroad. And so right here in Boulder City, we have a phenomenal tourism train experience, and it is run and operated by the state of Nevada. And these wonderful individuals provide such a great experience currently, but they do so with an outdoor exhibit. And so to be able to provide them with the opportunity to display indoors some of the different artifacts and important information that we really don't have the opportunity to see or witness without it being destroyed out in the heat and the elements. And so this is going to be a phenomenal opportunity to continue to tell about heritage tourism and the story of how Boulder City was built, because we came here and the people that brought to this area to build Hoover Dam, which thank you for having that in your background. That's awesome. And so being home of the Hoover Dam, being able to claim that is such an honor and such a great marvel that was created at a time that was very important, and it provided a lot of jobs. And it tamed a river that has provided a lot of energy as well as controlled water that's been delivered to the Imperial Valley. So we have such a phenomenal heritage, and we need to talk about the railroad that was established to take ore and supplies and individuals down to that dam area from the Vegas Valley. It has become a tourism train now. And so we have fun activities like the Halloween train and Santa train and different fun activities. We've had a couple different nonprofits that do fundraising on the train as well. And so they'll host maybe a dinner or some kind of an adventure that they go over and they can watch the sun set in the Las Vegas Valley. And so it's beautiful to watch the sun go down and all the twinkly lights of Vegas come up right from a train here in Boulder. So lots of fun opportunities there. But my number one thing I am super excited to talk about, which will be my project, and that's the Boulder City Adventure Center, a one-stop shop for all things outdoor operators that will have their location here. There'll be a hub here, 12 of those operators, by the way. They'll all be located at this site. We'll have a bus that goes to the Strip, brings people from those Vegas hotels and casinos, brings them out here to our parking lot, drops them off, and then the 12 different operators will pick them up from here to take them to their activity. So we are very excited to have these great partners to be able to provide this resource in this wonderful parking area. So it establishes kind of that one-stop shop for all of our tourists that are coming to the area. They can do all kinds of things, outdoor adventure while they're here, and it's all in one site.
I love that. I love it. I'd like to circle back to the museums and then move forward to the Adventure Center. It was not lost on me as I was in Boulder City the other day having a coffee at the coffee shop, the Boulder Dam Coffee Shop and Browder Bookstore. I love that place. That fits my need for a small town feel if I was to live in Boulder City. So at least the coffee shop is there. But when I left to go back to Las Vegas, where I live right now, it was not lost in how impressive this new museum is. When do you expect it's going to be open and to the public? And when's that grand opening going to be? Do you suspect?
So the contractors will be complete sometime this spring. We're thinking at the end of May. However,
Mhm.
it will then take them a bit of time to put in the archive materials, as well as build out some of the interpretive boards. And so that will be taking place throughout the summer. So our expectation is to have a grand opening and a ribbon cutting sometime in the fall of this year. So very exciting. We're very much looking forward to that. It was quite a deal when we had the groundbreaking, and we were very, very happy to include so many great elected officials from around the state because they see this and recognize it as the regional tourism project that it is. You know,
Mhm.
we're always looking at diversifying our economy here in the state of Nevada. And so, yes, we absolutely are grateful for gaming and mining and those great things that make the state what it is. However, some of these different experiences, when you can explore that heritage side of what made Nevada the way that it is, this is one of those great opportunities. So we're
Okay.
excited for that opening this year.
What do you suspect the impact will be? I mean, we know about the museum today. I've been there. So you go there quite often as a result of your role with the chamber and representing the city for that matter and the state. What do you think the kind of the delta is going to be? This here's what we're doing today. We're expecting some figure plus that in a year from now, or maybe after the fall time frame when it opens. Do you have a sense of how big it's going to really be?
So currently, they're experiencing about a 55,000 yearly passengers. And
Hmm.
so that ridership is happening when they are only operating on weekends.
Hmm.
And some of those weekends in the middle of the summer, they do not operate because it's too hot. And
Right.
so if you can consider 55,000 people riding, only having the opportunity to ride on weekends or on holidays, you want to really estimate what that looks like when people are coming on a daily basis and they've got more activity to take place at that location, more to explore and more opportunity. And so we are excited to state that we're thinking that it'll probably, our goal is to get it up to closer to that 200,000 a year.
Hmm.
So when one little train ride can take you to such a fabulous experience and tell the story of what Boulder City is all about and also the history of Southern Nevada, I am so grateful to see that those numbers will increase because they now have more train rides. They've got more opportunity to be open on weekdays as well. And
Hmm.
so now you're talking about a lot more children that can come and be a part through some of the school programming. There's just a lot more opportunity when we can expand the ability and what they have to offer, the customer service that they'll be able to add.
Okay. When I travel for work, I'm a member of the Outdoor Writers Association of America. We go to an annual conference, and in the days leading up to the actual conference and a couple days after, so this whole period, there are excursions, and really during the conference itself, where we've spent a full day in a conference room, air conditioning blowing on us, and we just got to get out there and do something. So I suspect I would imagine you're going to have visitors coming in after spending the day doing what they're doing for an excursion, coming to the museum, perhaps having a reception there and just walking around enjoying themselves. So you literally could have events going on throughout the week, I would imagine.
You absolutely are correct. And we really want to cater to that corporate traffic, right? So we know that currently our many of our hotels, they see great numbers during the weekends and during holidays, during special events, but we really need to infill that weekday. So that is exactly what we are targeting, the use and the purpose for this. Go after those corporate partners, those individual special events, those conferences, find spousal programs that we can add to and build up as well as just making sure that we offer some of those fan tours. So
Mhm.
that familiarization tour, as we call that, And so bring some of the travel writers and other tour operators, bring them to the community so they can understand what it is that we do. Give them the experience of riding that train. Provide them with the actual experience so that they can then turn around and help us package that with who they want to bring from, whether it's international traffic or just a national tour. So we really want to make sure that those weekdays we are filling that need and then also filling those other businesses as well. That's really what the motivation and the drive is on behalf of the chamber.
Okay. Very good. So let's shift gears to a project that's in some ways it's near and dear to my heart, probably not as much near and dear to your heart, the Adventure Center, because it's literally taking place right outside your front door.
We are knee deep in construction. And speaking of our front door, we can't even open it right now because there's a construction fence going across to protect it from shattering concrete and lay new water lines and electrical. And oh my gosh, it's so much going on and it's so exciting. Yes, it's a little inconvenient right now, and I've been complaining a bit, but it's all for all the right reasons. And we have a wonderful working relationship with the contractor. So he's doing a great job. So we are excited about that. This is a partnership here on property. This is a partnership with the state of Nevada, Travel Nevada. It is one of the greatest opportunities that we've had to be able to build out and do something that this is an 18-year idea. This has been
Yeah.
formulating for so long. And we tried doing it on private property. We looked at doing it maybe as a partnership with the city. It wasn't until we had the great opportunity, or I had been able to share this example of such a great concept with Brenda Scolari. She's the director of the Department of Tourism and Cultural Affairs for the state of Nevada. Very grateful for her and her insight and the ability that she had to go after an Economic Development Administration grant. So
Mhm.
this is federally funded, and it is a sister project to one in Carson City.
Right.
So the Adventure Center in Carson City is also is near where we're near the railroad property. They are on the railroad property. And so again, they'll have a really cool opportunity to help build that ride and the activities that they have there on site as well.
Okay. And I would suspect too the fact that much like the museum, folks are going to be coming in throughout the week because people have to have fun. It's not all going to be just business and inside auditoriums and conference centers. This is going to have a big impact on the city itself because I would imagine you're going to come to the adventure center. You're going to perhaps go off on your excursion. You're going to come back and you're going to want to do something. And you're not just going to necessarily go back to the hotel and on the Las Vegas Strip. Perhaps you're going to go downtown. Do you foresee that there's that type of impact in programming as well?
Absolutely. If you think about our drive market, the California area, southern Utah, even the Arizona area, that's the drive market, right? They're willing to take a day trip, a weekend trip, and
Mhm.
so they're going to probably really pack those weekends, and we cannot wait to have them. They are more than welcome. They aren't the ones that are popping on that bus and riding out, right? It's those that are coming from international markets or maybe across the country, more from back east, coming out this way. Those are the individuals who are really packing their week full of lots of fun activities. So not only are they staying longer than that drive market for the most part, they tend to also want to make sure that they don't experience just the Vegas vibe. We are very grateful for everything that they have. We are really riding on the backs of what the casino industry has created. And so
Mhm.
very grateful for that. Don't want to take away from that. Just simply want to remind people that to have a more well-rounded experience, to really explore all of Southern Nevada and enjoy your time while you are on vacation or away. It always helps to get outside, see what's around you, especially in the state of Nevada. There's so much open land. And
Right.
putting on my tourism hat for Nevada Commission on Tourism, I absolutely encourage people to also not only drive through to Boulder City, but also more northern. Check out all of the great open land, the dark skies that Nevada offers. There's just so much around, and I'm very proud of Boulder City. Of course, we'll always ask people to come here, but there is so much more to explore here in the state of Nevada.
I love that. And after the groundbreaking ceremony in September, I had a chance to meet with a couple folks from Lincoln County and Mesquite, and actually did a podcast episode with them. and just the whole dark sky bit. And I know you and I and Ryan have talked about how do we bring, and Boulder City for that matter, you have had the dark sky initiative to make it a dark sky community. And so taking advantage of this connection of things that you can do from Boulder City, perhaps even south of Boulder City, all the way up to the North Country. And it's Las Vegas is a long state, very tall, but there's a lot going on throughout it. Then it's definitely worth seeing. And
You
uh,
you are absolutely right. And we are really excited about all of those individuals that came out to the groundbreaking because those are they just are such a huge support. And I watch them do such great things in the small communities and the rural communities that they're in. Sometimes in rural communities, we don't give enough credit to the amount of effort that's put into making great experiences there. And
right,
so really excited that we had such support and that some of my other colleagues were able to come out and see what it is we can offer so that we can also build some of those partnerships. So if we've got somebody here and we're right here at the center, we should be talking about what they've got in Lincoln County. Lincoln
right,
County's got some phenomenal trail programs. We could be talking about that, have a display, help people understand it's not that far, that it's just a great opportunity for them to add to what it is they do.
sure. And it's a day off from, again, the conference. You go up, have some fun for 3 hours or a couple-hour drive, have some fun, and you come back and you've taken care of your entertainment and your experience. As the Adventure Center takes off, and when do you anticipate it being up and available for public experience?
We're shooting for middle of this summer. And
Okay.
so once they finalize everything, we're anticipating if everything goes well, that the contractors should be finished by the end of May, 1st of June. And so once we can get everything, all the lights and power and everything turned on, we're hoping that sometime in July would be great, but we're not exactly sure at this point. It is still a kind of a moving target.
Okay. So right now, as you've just shared with our listeners, two very important projects are going to come to fruition this year. That is absolutely fantastic. I am one last question. I'm curious about with the Adventure Center. I would imagine this is also going to have an impact on the residents of Boulder City because they get to also be not just perhaps more volunteering for the chamber and to help you be the ambassador on site, but it's an opportunity for the residents to really take on this moniker of being a brand ambassador for Boulder City as more visitors
Absolutely.
come in.
You are absolutely right. We saw that brand ambassador program start with our Boulder City license plate. The pride that the residents have to put a license plate with a picture of the dam on it so that they can also share, because it draws questions. I'll be in town all the time in the Vegas Valley and someone will go, oh, that's a really cool plate. Oh, that's Hoover Dam. You should come out to Boulder City. So it gives us a talking point, right? Because we are
Mhm.
proud of the community that we live in. So, yes, we have many brand ambassadors. Not only is that frontline staff that whether it's the clerk that helps you at your hotel or it's the waitress that serves you at your lunch table, there are many that are so proud and have so much great information. We actually have an education program that we teach that frontline staff so that they know exactly what they can talk about and how they can encourage people to spend more time in Boulder City. And so you are absolutely right. They are very proud of it. They're excited. And I share that this also, all of this added traffic, and we know we got to be really careful about what that does to communities. We want to make sure that we are good neighbors, that we're good stewards of the environment, that we're not creating overuse problems. This increase will be so well managed and it is going to create a very little negative impact to our own residents. That's
Mhm.
the whole beauty of a bus company, bringing 57 individuals in on a bus versus 57 vehicles. We
Right.
also are eliminating that carbon footprint of all of our operators going
Mhm.
into Vegas, going in and sitting on the strip at each of those locations to pick up their guests. So now instead of having 12 operators driving in and out of town 4 or 5 times a day, we've got a single bus bringing their guests in and then returning them. So
Right.
we're really grateful to be part of the solution and making sure that we're good stewards of the environment, not creating any overuse issues. We will constantly be monitoring that. That is part of our mission statement. And so we intend on being respectful to not only what it is the tourism, the different locations that they're building, but also to make sure that we're also a good neighbor to our community.
Excellent. I love it. I love it. And I just, I love when I'm sharing with other guests on the podcast or friends, colleagues in the outdoor space about Boulder City, because we think of Las Vegas, we might think of the Hoover Dam, but you got to think of the Hoover Dam and Boulder City, because if you go to one, you got to go to the other because it's right next door, and you also have the park.
Yeah, Lake Mead National Recreation Area. You're
Yeah,
exactly right. So Lake Mead generally sees about 3 million visitors a year. The dam is about that same amount, a little bit more. And so when you think about those guests, they're already coming to this area. We should really be taking advantage of those guests and reminding them that there's a little more history, heritage, and excitement that takes place in the Boulder City area. So we're hoping to capture those guests, and then also going back to the residents, one of the other pluses is when they have right here in their backyard this hub, when they've got guests in town, they're not having to send their guests to a Vegas property to catch a bus to go do a Colorado River tour or a Grand Canyon tour. That stuff's happening right here. So
right.
those family members they're also having a huge benefit from that as well.
I love it. I love it. So I want to switch gears a little bit. It's something that you and I are a little closer to in some of the work we do together, the Best Damn Podcast, and you are the host. I was going to say the best damn host of the Best Damn Podcast, but how has this experience been since we launched that with you back in 2022 timeframe?
Well, I will share that I absolutely 1000% recommend Podcast Centric. I don't know how we would do it without you guys. It has been an absolute dream. And for anybody who's looking to start one, let's go back and talk about the history real fast. So,
Okay.
I have been contemplating this idea. I have peers in the Vegas Valley that I absolutely look up to, and they were doing podcasts or they had their own videos, radio or TV station. I thought, man, I so want to do that. I can see so much information and storytelling that needs to happen that we're just being too quiet about. So I so wanted to do this. And out of the blue, one afternoon, guess who calls me? Mr. Howard Fox. And he just, the way that you presented it, I'm like, man, I normally am really hesitant about talking, cold calling salespeople because I need to vet it a little bit more. But for whatever reason, we clicked, we loved our idea, and we really saw some opportunity here. And so I am so grateful you called that day and so grateful that we have this partnership because it really has been absolutely spectacular. I love the Best Damn Podcast. It's the favorite part of my job. Just recorded 3 this morning and so grateful that we have this opportunity. It has expanded over those 5 years
Right.
from renting a studio at I&I Studios. Very grateful for Don Rodriguez. He really gave me my start. But
Mhm.
we now have a mobile studio, and
Yeah.
it's right here in our parking lot. We're able to take that trailer and go to location as well. And thank you for helping us with our on location at special events. And so we are so grateful to have the bestdamn411.com trailer that we record the Best Damn podcast in. And it's just been an absolute dream. And our business owners are so grateful to be able to have this format. I
Mhm.
had 3 that were semi-nervous this morning, and by the time it was all said and done, we had such a great time. They had so much good information. I cannot wait for the public to hear it because I don't know that sometimes they have the format to be able to share their story. And
Right.
so this has just been a great way for us to help get the communication, build that information bank for us from the chamber, and share the members' information.
Sure. And I love the fact that we are not just delivering the work of the chamber or the work of the city and reporting meeting notes. We are actually talking to the business owners. We're talking to the folks that work in government, work for the nonprofits, working on initiatives like Dark Sky, and they're just telling their story and something if they've had a folks who are raising children with special needs or starting a new restaurant and what it took to get it up and running. That's a big deal, and it's nice that the Best Damn Podcast is there to help share that story. And in fact, I called it the community cast. I don't know if we're going to keep that, but when we interviewed Evolution Expeditions on their site, yeah, what's today? Wednesday, Monday, and that was so cool to actually go to the business and have a quick 15-20 minute interview. And we can kind of do that with all the experience style businesses that are in the community. And everybody's got some great stories, and you get to bring it out. And you're getting very comfortable behind the mic. And I keep having to reinforce that with you, by the way, but you're also becoming a kind of a TikTok sensation.
So I hired, we had the opportunity to work with a fabulous grant from the state and been able to contract with some different individuals. And I was able to meet a phenomenal young lady that has helped us. And she's one of two. We had McKenna Taylor got us kickstarted, and that rolled into this program with the state that we now have Olivia Goodfellow from OG Media. And so she's forced me to take some time to do a lot of these recordings. And so, yes, we're having a lot of fun with that, kind of creating our brand with, oh, hey. And so lots of good information comes after the words, oh, hey. So we're happy to do that. It's kind of all in a package though, right? So this is
Mhm.
part of communicating the value of what being a member is, what being an investor is, but also making sure that we are also helping the whole of Boulder City. So when we advertise the city of Boulder City as a community, whether they're an investor or not, they're really getting an advantage of being a kind of part of a community that we're talking about, that business
Mhm.
community. And so we're grateful to be able to help many. And we hope that those that are investing with us see value in it and allowing us to communicate that message. And so, like the spotlight that you just did with Evolution, or whether we're putting them in studio, those are just some of that. And now, what our brand manager is doing is also and adding to that and amplifying our message.
And I love that, and I can definitely feel the energy that's taking place this year because this message is being amplified. More and more people, whether it's somebody that's doing a search or they're coming into town or they're coming into Las Vegas, and they've heard about Boulder City, they've heard of the Best Damn Podcast, and you're giving them even more reason to want to take some time away from the business and come have fun to discover, explore, and unwind in Boulder City. I think I used that again yesterday as well, by the way, or
That's
Monday as well.
awesome. And that is exactly what we're hoping with the new programming that you have helped us with. That really does help us spotlight the tourism side of things. And we're hoping that message goes beyond the 100-mile radius of Boulder City and reaches out and brings those people in, attracts them, gives them the information that they're looking for outdoor recreation. So, yes, we want to make sure that the messages that we provide in the podcast realm, that it's not only the warm and fuzzies that are happening within the community, but it's also why would somebody want to come from Nebraska to visit Boulder City? And so we
Sure.
want to provide that information. And I'm really excited for this partnership because we're doing great things.
Excellent. You bet we are. So I am curious, two questions. One is, I mean, you are just so busy. You've got your hands in a lot of pots doing great work. You're working at the state level and at the federal level. I think I might know what the answer could be, but what's keeping you up at night?
Ooh. So worrying about how the drought is going to impact us in the future. What does that look like for Boulder City, right? What does that look like for the businesses that utilize the lake and the water as water recreation sports? But then also making sure that we are considering how this is being impactful into bringing guests out, because we know that when there's negative media, negative information that's out there that shares, oh, the lake's all dried up, it's a dust bowl. That is the kind of stuff that worries me because it's hard for us to control that kind of messaging, but it really is difficult on those business owners if a negative persona is out there. And that perception is everything. We all know that. And so trying to make sure that we're constantly giving the message that even if things get pretty bad at Lake Mead, yes, that's a horrible thing. And that's an environmental issue that we all need to be paying attention to. but it still has recreational opportunities. And there will always be a way that we're working to try to find solutions. And so trying to make sure that we're part of the solution, that we're still conveying the message that people can still come and be here. Those are some of the things that do keep me up at night. And then just purely trying to make sure that I'm thinking about all of the needs, the concerns that our business owners have. So we're interviewing them often. We're trying to understand what their thoughts are, what their concerns are, and then trying to make sure that we help them meet them and find ways to be as supportive as possible for them.
Okay. Very good. As you kind of look back, and I mean, if you've been with the chamber for quite a while now, I mean, we are expanding the programming and the reach and really the involvement of what the chamber is touching. And you talked about the adventure center, the museum, etc. As you look back on what you've been able to accomplish, is there like an aha moment for you of like, wow, it just kind of something just stops you in your tracks, like, I got to do this.
So I've had so many. I've been at this position for 25 years. There really, really are a lot of different aha moments, things that have taken my breath away, things that have made me crack up laughing. And then some of those things that on a daily basis, you're thinking, man, why did I not think of that before? Right.
Mhm.
So many educational opportunities that have come along, whether it's meeting individuals or interviewing individuals or being able to collaborate with different groups. All of those things have just been a phenomenal opportunity for me. I have to tell you, the one that probably sticks in my mind most recently, we were able to obtain a $42,000 grant from the state of Nevada. It is
Wow.
from the tourism department. It's specifically to work with a company called Wheel the World. I am
Mm,
so impressed with this company, and the idea is to make travel into our community not exclusive. It should be inviting and inclusive of all. So what does that look like? For 25 years, I haven't really worried about, I can walk into a building, you can walk into a building. We have this flow, ebb and flow and all these great things. But over the last 10 years, we became certified as an autism center, certified autism center. So
mhm.
my volunteers know how to interact and work with individuals with autism or have family members that do. So when they come in the front door, that they feel welcome, they're invited, they know that this is a center that they can come to for information and that we will be there to help them. So things like that have really stood out for me. So this Wheel the World, the idea will be that we will have different businesses that will take part in this program. They'll do an assessment. They'll provide them with information on how to make improvements, and then they will be able to be a certified center that will be part of the Wheel the World program so that others that are looking for handicap accessible locations, we will be a part of that community so people understand we are inviting, we want them to be a part, we want to make sure that we're meeting their needs and we understand their needs because we truly believe Boulder City is for everybody.
I love it. I love it. And the grant and the program, if there's links, I'd love to have those for our show notes as well.
Sure.
I know a question you like to ask on the Best Damn podcast, and so I'm going to ask it right now: is what book are you reading?
Oh, so I am rereading my favorite book. So I'm a business book club. So I just finished reading Unstoppable by Natalia Trodal. She's amazing, great leader, very proud of her. I'm glad to say that I knew her back when she hadn't even started all of this public speaking, and she's just become a phenomenal individual. And so very excited about her book. But my all-time favorite book that I do have back on my nightstand is The Gap in the Gain by Ben Hardy and Dan Sullivan. Oh my gosh, I probably quote that book on a daily basis. I am absolutely in love with it. It has changed my life and is one of those books that every day I measure the gain and try to not worry about the gap because I'm
Right.
going to another day tomorrow and I will remeasure the gain. And yes, I got to change the gap, but I don't have to be upset about it. I don't have to let it weigh me down. I allow that gain to be what spurs me to move on to the next challenge.
I love it. By the way, when I was preparing the show notes for today, and I went back and looked at the original show notes, and you also referenced the book as well. And Jill, I did check. I do have it on my Kindle, so
Perfect.
you've rubbed off on me a little bit. So thank you for
Yeah.
that.
It's a great
Before
book.
we head out, just a reminder for our listeners, where are the best places to go to learn more about the Boulder City Chamber of Commerce and the Best Damn podcast and on the social sites?
So I will say that the best place to go is bouldercitychamber.com. That allows you to get links to all of those other sites and all of the many programs that we have, other websites, other links. We have got so many projects going on, like the Best Damn Coupon program that we just kicked off, and I'm very proud of. And so we have got, yes, thank you very much. You and Ryan have been instrumental on that. And so all of that information can be found on bouldercitychamber.com. So one-stop shop for all the great things that we do.
Excellent. We'll provide that link in our show notes, as well as some photos of Boulder City and the kickoff or the groundbreaking. Anything, add a lot of those in our show notes. Jill, I'm so glad we are in each other's lives. You're phenomenal to get to know, and I love Boulder City, and I love just kind of working with you to help, really to kind of help grow and make people more aware of what a great town this is, and the work that you and your team are doing. This is just phenomenal. So thank you so much for having Ryan and I in your life and helping with the
Yes.
Best Damn podcast.
You are more than welcome. Thank you. It's all mutual. And you are right. It does take a team. I've got phenomenal staff and volunteers, a wonderful board, and great partners just like you and Ryan. So thank you.
You're very welcome. All right, listen, staying alive. We're going to do a quick close, and then you and I can have a final chat. Okay.
Okay.
All right, folks, we have just been chatting with Jill Lagan. She is the CEO of the Boulder City Chamber of Commerce, host of the Best Damn podcast. And look, if you're coming to Las Vegas, you need to plan to take some time off and go visit Boulder City, visit Lake Mead, visit Hoover Dam, but spend some time in Boulder City. The Adventure Center and the museum are going to be, the Nevada State Railroad Museum are going to be up and running, knock on wood, by the end of the year into the fall. And so there's some great restaurants, so lots of great history. So you really have to take advantage of it. If you need help planning your holiday or visit to Boulder City, make sure you do check out, as Jill's just suggested, visit the website, the Boulder City Chamber of Commerce's website at bouldercitychamber.com. And we'll have links to the social sites as well as some of the other sites that Jill mentioned today. As for us, you can find our episode on our website, outdooradventureseries.com. We're also on LinkedIn and Facebook. The video of this episode will be up on our YouTube channel. And of course, you can listen to this episode wherever you get your podcast from. Okay, wherever you are, whatever you're doing, go out there and have a fantastic day. And we look forward to having you join us on a future episode of the Outdoor Adventure Series podcast. Take care now.